Hello there, and thank you ever so much for joining me today. My name's Sophie Turnbull, and I'm the Head of International for the University of West of England. And I'm here really just to give you an overview of the university. I know that some of you here may have some questions, so if there's any questions, I'd love to be able to answer those at the end. But really, it's just to give you a taste. I know at this uncertain time where maybe normally we would be at a fair where we would meet face to face, that would have been a great thing to do. But, you know, in this strange time, it's a really nice opportunity to still be able to reach out to potential students and just give you a real taster about the university itself. So let me begin. So before I start, I don't want to focus too much on COVID-19 because I'm sure, like you're watching the news a lot, there's a lot in the press, we're being bombarded with information, but at the same time I know that a lot of our current applicants and inquirers do have questions about what that means for studying in the UK and at the university. So just to give you a little bit of information about what that means for UWE. So as with every university in the UK, in March we moved all of our teaching for our current students to online. We've got about 800 students who've remained on campus throughout this period, who are getting a lot of support from the university. Where really the university, like a lot of UK universities, is doing a lot to support the current crisis. So we've actually, just to the side of our campus, our big exhibition centre is actually being used as one of the Nightingale hospitals. It's completely secure away from the main campus, but the university isn't just kind of, you know, being a bystander in all of this. We've really got that that need to help the community. So UWE isn't just a university who prides itself on academia, but also in ensuring that we're supporting the UK citizens at a time of need such as this. The university has developed actually its own English language test and online pre-sessional English courses as a result of IELTS centre closure, and also that students are able to travel to us. I will give you a little bit more information about that shortly. We're really trying hard to give maximal flexibility around kind of acceptance of final transcripts. I know in Turkey it hasn't been too impacted yet, but if you have been, you know, if you're worried about being negatively impacted due to delays or things like that, please do get in touch with us. We're looking at flexible start dates, so we're hoping to be able to announce our start of term dates very, very soon. But what we will have is very likely starting in October, we will have a number of courses running, and also in January. So kind of look out for announcements if you are interested in joining us. We've also got scholarships, and again, this is often something that students will ask about, so I will give you a bit more information about that. And what we're going to do in the run-up to start of term is offer students a lot of pre-course online preparation support, because we know for students where their university or school have been closed for a little bit of time, that they feel quite anxious about that break. So that was really just to give you a kind of overview of what we're doing. Now, I know for a lot of you that are listening to this live, or perhaps listening to the presentation afterwards, you may already know why the UK. So you're here for a reason, yes? You may already know, okay, I want to go to the UK because of the fantastic education, or because, you know, I want to be in a fantastic historical country. But quite often students will join us and not quite know why they want to study in the UK. So I just want to kind of start this off just by kind of reinforcing why the UK is such a fantastic destination for education. So it's a hub of quality, and 4 of the top 9 global universities are based in the UK. So we have that kind of international reputation and history of offering that good quality education. And in fact, the University of Oxford was the first English-speaking university in the world, and that was founded in 1167. So you can see there that this is that huge history in terms of international and domestic education. It's not just about the education, though. What we find is that students who come and choose to study in the UK not just get that great quality education I've spoken about, but get that amazing international perspective as well by studying in a multicultural society, making friends from all over the world, quite often who will become your business connections in the future. And a lot of UK universities really pride themselves, including UWE, on what we would call the real experiences with salaries. So sandwich years at undergraduate level, but also increasingly at postgraduate level, opportunities for students to engage in some kind of placements is a really important part of study in the UK. It's not just touching the academic side, but it's touching on that kind of real life work side as well, which is really important when you go into the workplace. Degrees in the UK tend to be a little bit shorter than what they are in both Turkey, but in some other international areas. So our undergraduate degrees are 3 years in length, our master's degree are 1 year, which means that sometimes our duration of study is a little bit shorter than other destinations. And I think one of the most exciting things for students looking at the UK is the government announced in September last year that for students who are graduating in 2021, they will be eligible to apply for the new 2-year post-work route. So this is something that the UK used to have a few years ago. It's very, very popular, but this is something that will be available. So for students joining the UK from this year onwards, you should be eligible to apply for that post-work route. So that will give you 2 extra years in the UK after graduation, where you can actually apply for jobs, get that experience in the UK, earn some money, and take that experience back to Turkey or indeed globally after you've got that work experience. Scholarship. So obviously, like I said, we will go on to scholarships in a bit. And also that I think there's sometimes the perception that the UK is a very expensive destination. And I'm not here to tell you it's not, it's not a low cost destination, but certainly in comparison to other countries such as the US, Australia, because of cost of living, exchange rates, and the duration of study, it can actually work out cheaper than some of those other popular destinations where sometimes the perception is that the UK is more expensive. So really that was just to give you an overview of why the UK, so that coming into this you can kind of see that not just how great UWE is as a university, but what the UK as a destination offers to students as well. So now moving on to UWE. So what I'm not here today to do is give you lots of in-depth information or information that you are able to get from the website, hopefully, because you're all digitally capable, you're able to look at prospectus or look online. It's to try and give you a little bit additional information to help inform your decision about studying overseas. So I want to give you a little bit of an overview of UWE before I start. So UWE is a large university. We have around 30,000 students enrolled. So, you can see a large university, large number of students. 17% of those are international students, and that's important to you because you know that we're well prepared for supporting the needs of an international students, but you're not going to be studying just alongside students from Turkey or students from China or students from India or students from wherever. You're going to be studying alongside students from the UK as well, and that's really important because if I was going to come and study in Turkey, I wouldn't want to get to my class on the first day, look, and it would all be British students. I want to actually get that international exposure, but feel that that university understands my needs as an international student. So at UWE, we really believe that we can do this. And we're located in Bristol, and Bristol is quite often voted one of the top cities in the UK, and I'll give you a little bit more information about Bristol shortly. And we, ranking wise, we've got some rankings that we're really proud of. We have TEF Gold, which kind of shows the quality of teaching that we offer at undergraduate level. We're 28 in the Guardian for overall ranking in the UK. But the areas that we're really proud of is what the students, so where we rank from the student satisfaction. So for undergraduate study, we're top 7 in the UK and in England for our undergraduate student satisfaction, and we're number 6 for postgraduate. And the reason that I feel that's more important is that that's the student telling us that. So that's the voice of the student telling us about what the experience of studying at the university is about. And then we have 4 faculties at the university, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. We have almost 500 courses at the university. You can look on our website, you can see that, but it's important just to give you a snapshot of what they are. So we have our Faculty of Arts, Creative Industry and Education. And within there's 3 faculties. So Art and Design, Creative and Cultural Industries, Education and Childhood. And you can see here the kinds of courses that covers. So anything from fine art, illustration, animation. But actually what I want to do, if the video works, is actually show you a small clip of the creative industries itself, because the great thing about these courses is how hands-on they are and the amazing facilities that you will be able to use as an applicant or a student of one of these programs. So hopefully this will work. Let's have a go.
Sophie, you need to unplug the headphones because all the music goes into your ear. Okay, that's perfect. İnternetten kaynaklı bir sıkıntı var şu anda. Sanırım Sophie'nin internet bağlantısı yok. Sophie, can you hear me? Can you click on the green button, please? Sophie, can you please click on the green button? Hello.
Hello, sorry about that. We're having a couple of technical issues, I think.
Yeah, you lost the connection, I guess.
Yeah.
It's okay, but we didn't see any of the video.
Oh.
So what you can do instead is copy and paste the link of the video on the chat box so people can go and watch themselves and we can continue the presentation.
That's great. Thank you. I will not play any more of the video. That they will continue. I think the internet connection maybe is not good enough. It's making it crash.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, thank you. I will begin now then. Should I just resume where I was before?
Can you again share your screen from Actions?
Yeah, no problem. Okay, sorry everyone about that. This is, I think, Friday afternoon, nearly time for the weekend. Everything seems to be closing down, but we'll continue. So unfortunately there, you weren't able to see all of the amazing facilities, but what I will try and do is put a link in at the end so that you can see that video yourself. There are a couple more videos in there, but what I don't want to do is keep shoving me out of the system. So what I will do is I will not play those, but again, any links can go in at the end so that it doesn't keep throwing out the screen. So apologies for any technical issues there. So let me continue. So the other faculty that a lot of students are quite interested in is our Faculty of Environment and Technology. So this faculty here has 4 departments. As you can see, we have our Faculty of Architecture and Built Environments, and again, some amazing courses. We're actually 4th in the UK for our architecture program. So these are very, very well-ranked programs and quite popular with Turkish students. So we have quite a number who apply for our undergraduate and our postgraduate courses as well, and very hands-on and practical courses. And a great thing is no portfolio is needed for these programs. And we also have our Faculty of Creative Science and Creative Tech, and you can see here the kind of programs we have. So your traditional programs, science, but also ones that are perhaps a little bit more interesting, such as games technology, audio and music technology. So a real nice arrangement of courses for students. And we have our Department of Engineering, Design and Mathematics, so courses like aerospace engineering, engineering management, and also robotics. And we're actually very lucky that on our main campus we have our robotics lab, which is actually the largest robotics lab in Europe. So it's actually a working robotics lab. Some of the teaching is on there, so students aren't just kind of benefiting from a great program, but from being part of an actual large robotics lab. And then we have our Faculty of Geography and Environmental Management, so courses again such as transport planning, MSc project management. So some of these courses that I know are really popular in Turkey. And what I will do there is I will skip through that video so that it doesn't crash again. Next, we have our Faculty of Business and Law. Again, a very popular faculty, lots of students interested in studying business. We get a lot of interest from our Turkish applicants in these areas. And these are the main programs. I'm not going to run through all of these. Again, all of this information is on our faculty. And I did have a really good video to show you because we actually have a new business school. So it was open 2 years ago. So very modern and multidisciplinary. We have great things like mock law courts for students to use. We have a Bloomberg suite for our finance and economics students. But because of the glitch, I don't want it to crash the screen again. So again, I will make sure that those links are posted through to you afterwards so that you're able to see those. And then last but not least, we have our Faculty of Health and Applied Sciences. And for this, we have 4 departments. We have Allied Health, Applied Sciences, Health and Social Sciences, and Nursing and Midwifery. Unfortunately, we don't have medicine or pharmaceutical or dentistry, but otherwise we have programs like psychology, physiotherapy, nursing. All of these are really popular programs. So again, for students who like those hands-on courses, and what you actually see here in the picture this is our nursing simulation suite. So again, the great thing about UWE is a lot of our courses are very hands-on. You'll learn by the theoretical side, from lectures, from seminars, but a lot of our courses are very practice-led. So what that means is we get our students in those real-life experiences, actually learning by doing rather than learning just by listening. So what we've got here actually is that's not a real patient. That's actually a dummy that interacts with the staff there. So it can talk, it can tell them where things are hurting, it can vomit. So it really is trying to replicate those real life so that students are getting actually what does it feel like to be in that scenario. And we find that this is very, very popular with our students, especially in those kind of allied health and nursing programs. And then that's all I'm going to talk about in terms of the faculties, because with so many different courses and lots of different students, I don't want to focus too much on 1 or 2 subject areas, but I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. I want to focus on why is UWE special and what are the main reasons that you may be interested in studying at UWE. And I think the first for me that makes us more unique than some of the other universities in the UK is Bristol. So as I mentioned earlier, Bristol's often voted one of the top cities in the UK. It's a fantastic fantastic city to live in. Not too large, maybe about the 8th largest city in the UK, about 1.5 hours from London, so really easy access to London. But actually, as a city itself, it has a lot to offer, so you don't need to escape to London every week. As a city, you're going to find that you're going to really enjoy being there, not in normal times, so you know, not outside of coronavirus. It's a city of festivals, a city of concerts, a great place to study. And one of the things that our international students really talk about as being one of their top experiences by coming and studying at UWE and in the UK. And you know, I just want to kind of talk about what is Bristol as a city. So I mentioned there, it's, you know, not a huge city. It's got a population of about 500,000. It's a multicultural city. So we have about 91 different languages spoken and about 180 different countries of birth. So really multicultural city. So you're not going to come somewhere where you have to worry, you know, are people going to be racist? We have Turkish supermarkets, we have Turkish restaurants, but still it is a British city. We've got Bristol Airport, which flies to 125 destinations. And actually, in terms of what Bristol is as a city, it's a real city of creative and digital. So for students in particular who are interested in those fields, we have one of the largest creative and digital hubs across the UK. So lots of people working within that industry. It's got the 3rd largest GDP per capita in the UK. So it's quite a wealthy economy. So again, when we're talking about that post-work visa, a really good destination for students to come to actually look for job opportunities after they graduate. It has a student population of over 50,000. So, you know, you're coming to a city which is a really young, it's got a real nice vibe to it because of that large student population. And actually, it's got one of the largest rates of students remaining in a city after graduation. And that's not just because it's a great city to be in. You can see from some of the pictures, a really beautiful city, but actually it's because it has those job opportunities and it's got that real young population vibe. So students, when they graduate, don't necessarily need to move to London to get that job, or they don't necessarily even want to. They choose to stay in Bristol because it offers them those opportunities for work, as well as being an amazing city to live in. And the other big industry in Bristol is aerospace. So we have the headquarters for Airbus and also the defence arm for Rolls-Royce and the Ministry of Defence are all actually very close to the UWE campus. So aerospace is another big industry in Bristol. So that's just to give you a few statistics to kind of, you know, it's such a fun city to be in. But actually, when you're investing that money in coming and studying in the UK, you want to know, what are my job opportunities in that city? What does that city give me? Is it multicultural? You know, and Bristol really does offer you all of those things. There's another video, but again, I will skip through that in case it crashes, but it's a lovely video that showcases Bristol much better than I can discuss it. And then if we move on to the second reason, so I told you about those 3 reasons why you may want to consider UWE. So we've got Bristol, number 1. You want to come and study and live somewhere that you're going to really enjoy for the 1 year or 3 years that you're studying in the UK. The second is campus and community. And I think this is really important. You're moving away from home. Perhaps it's the first time you're living away from home. Perhaps it's the first time you're visiting the UK. You don't want to feel that you're kind of in a big nameless city, or you're somewhere that you don't feel part of that community, which is such an important part of your study experience. So at UWE, we have 3 campuses. So we have Bower Ashton, which is spread across 3 main campuses as part, which makes up our city campus. This is our main art and design hub. We have Glenside, so I showed you earlier that nursing simulation suite. This is our healthcare campus. And then last but not least, we have Frenchay campus, and this is our main one here. You'll see here, this is an aerial shot of the campus, and we have about 3,000 accommodation beds on campus. So a lot of our undergraduate students in particular do like to live on campus. We have the business school, engineering, biomed, and sports centres, our student union, and our library, which is open 24 hours, all on this main campus. And then you may be able to see just down there that there is the bus depot. It only takes 15 minutes to get from the centre of Bristol to that main campus. And so you can live in the centre, you can live on campus, but that accessibility is really, really good. So you know that you're not going to be travelling 1 hour to get to lectures, or 2 hours, or you're going to be stuck in traffic. The connectivity between the centre and that main campus is really good. But what that campus experience gives you is that real sense of community and that you're part of something, which may not seem important, when you're sat, at home and you're just thinking, well, what about the ranking of the university, which we have good ranking, remember? But that kind of, what does that university give me? How do I feel as being an applicant or a student at that university? Do I feel proud? And we really feel that our UWE students feel proud to be part of that UWE community. I'm only going to touch on this very quickly, but like I mentioned before, we also have our city campus, which is our art campuses. And again, I will link through to that video because you can see a little bit from the photos there. We have amazing facilities. We have Glenside, which is our healthcare campus. And again, I won't touch upon this a lot because I've given you a bit of information already. And then I think it's important what you kind of know about UWE as well as part of that campus and community feel is that we continue to invest. So we have a new engineering school, which is due to open this September. So that will be a multidisciplinary, the space will be amazing for students to use, and that is just due to open. We're investing in more student accommodation. Bristol, as I mentioned before, is an incredibly popular student city and young professionals city. So we actually have found over the last few years that there's been more and more people moving to the city, and a need for us to provide more good quality student accommodation to students. We are also what we would call practice-orientated. So what that means is, of course, we're an academic university. Every university is. But the kind of students that I think really suit UWE are students who learn by doing. So yes, they're going to be lectures. Yes, you're going to have seminars. Yes, you're going to be taught things. But actually, when you go to a workplace, your employer doesn't want to give you things to read so you know what to do. They want you to feel that you practically can do those things, that you're ready to go into the workplace. And that's what a university like UWE is really good at, is identifying those skills that graduates need to actually help them progress into their career of choice. And then the final thing that I think I'm really proud of, that UWE is very strong in, is employability. And I know that a lot of universities will talk about their employability. They will use these statistics. 95%, 97% of our graduates are in further study or employment 6 months after graduation. But the reason that UWE, I feel, really can talk about this strongly, especially for our international applicants, is we've really invested in our career support for those students. So we have a lot of schemes such as international talent, where we pair up with companies who are actually looking at international students, supporting them. We have real strong links with industries for placements, for employment. We have a very strong career service, which is very well utilised by our international students. They will offer anything from CV support to interview skills. It will help you find jobs. But the thing that is very unique to UWE is GradLink. So GradLink is a global resource for international students studying in the UK, not just UWE students. So you will see here that the URL for this is not a UWE URL, but you'll see here on the top right hand corner, it is powered by UWE. So this is a UWE resource, but it's something that's open to any international students studying across the UK. So this is actually featured on over 100 UK universities' websites, including the University of Oxford, because it is such a developed resource. So you can see here all of the places that we are pairing up to offer graduate jobs. And these are companies who really do emphasize the skill set that a student who has studied in the UK will bring to them. So we have GradLink China, GradLink Southeast Asia, GradLink Gulf, GradLink Europe, GradLink Canada, GradLink Africa, GradLink India. So this means that you can graduate from UWE with a fantastic degree. You can get that 2-year post-study work visa and remain in the UK. And then after that, with that amazing degree, that great work experience, you can look globally at the kind of companies that want to employ you as a UK graduate. So it's almost like a global job centre, a global job portal to help students find the best job for them. And what I will always say when I speak to our applicants is follow the job, not the country. So quite often the students who are just looking at the US or just looking at the UK are really narrowing down their choices. But the students who are searching for where is it that as a project manager, they're calling out for my need, or as an architect, or as a public health specialist, where should I be going? And a tool like GradLink will really help showcase that. And I think as a university, the fact that we've developed this and we've put so much resource and time into developing this just for international students really shows the passion that we have for supporting our students. And then we have lots of connections with employers. So it's not just about saying, go and work in Canada or go and work in India. You know, we really do have those good connections because of the strength that our employers know a UWE graduate has. And so those are the three things. I think it can be very overwhelming when you're speaking to a university about all of the different things. You know, is it the ranking that's important? Is it the location? But really, when you're trying to differentiate UWE to other universities, it is things such as Bristol, fantastic city, the employability, which really, why else are you going to university? It's an investment in your future, and that campus and community, so that when you are studying there, you're not only getting that great degree, but you feel that you're part of that global and UK community. So I'm just going to be conscious of time because I want to give people an opportunity to ask questions. So I've just got a few more things I want to touch upon. So I mentioned before that we have a lot of accommodation available, both on and off campus. You can find a lot more information on our website. What's important for students who are looking at this intake is that our deadline for guaranteed accommodation is the 25th of June. So if you're hoping to apply for this autumn or for January, if you apply by the 25th of June, we will actually guarantee a space in UWE accommodation. And then in terms of our entry requirements, so I've put here the entry requirements that we have for Turkey. So you can see that we do actually accept for undergraduate direct entry holders of a Turkish high school if they've got 70%. For students with below 70%, they do have the option to go to our UWE Bristol International College that is with Kaplan, which is still on our campus. For masters, we generally look for a GPA of 2 out of 4. Oh, sorry, that's for pre-masters. So again, if you don't quite get that 2.5 grade that we require, you are able to do a pre-masters with Kaplan. And for any students who are interested in that, they can ask at the end. I can give a little bit more information. English language-wise, you can see here the requirements. So an IELTS of 6 for undergraduate, postgraduate is 6.5. And then I think what's really important to point out at this point in time is that because we know a lot of IELTS centres are closed, we do accept a number of different tests. So we have language set, Duolingo, TOEFL, IELTS indicator. But the most exciting thing I think for Turkish applicants is we do actually have our own free online English test. So if you apply to study at UWE for either this autumn or this January, you will get a communication after your offer goes out if you do still require an English language. Own English language test. There is no cost for that. You won't be able to use it to apply for the but you'll be able to sit at home, use your computer and actually sit that test to use for admission to UWE for this autumn, which is great news because you don't need to worry about when will IELTS centres open. You don't even need to worry about the cost. For students who don't quite meet that requirement there, either the 6 for undergraduate or the 6.5 for postgraduate, you'll see there that I mentioned our online pre-sessional English courses. So again, if you don't quite get the grade that is required, we would automatically make you an offer on the most relevant one for you. And because those are online, you will see it there. It's a much reduced rate than normally our face-to-face. So very affordable, very accessible, and a great way for students to still be able to prepare for study so that their English is suitable to join us this year. And I mentioned a little bit before about our Bristol International College. So again, for students who don't quite meet those requirements mentioned in the previous slide, there is still an option for you to be able to join us. It's a great option for you still on our campus, extra support for students, lots of great courses that you can progress on to. So again, if you need a little bit more information about that, you can let me know. The great thing is we actually have a Kaplan representative based in Istanbul. So if you need a little bit more information about that, he will be able to help you. And then tuition fee wise, so all of our undergraduate programs are 13,500. Our postgraduate ranges between 13,250 up to 15,750 for our MBA. And just something to point out here, due to the initial, due to the kind of situation that's going on at the moment with coronavirus, we will be offering full refunds to any students who pay their deposit and then aren't able to join because of the impact. So it could just be that, you know, your situation changes, your circumstance financially, travel restrictions don't allow you to join. join. We don't want you to feel that you can still apply and commit to study, but then change your mind because of this current situation. So that's just to give you a little bit of reassurance there. In terms of scholarships, because I know this is a question I often get when I visit Turkey, I meet some amazing Turkish students, and quite often, quite rightly, they want to know, you know, Sophie, this is my transcript, look how good I am, what scholarships can you give me? So the good news is we do have scholarships. We have a number of 50% scholarships, which are for postgraduate study only. For those, you would need to have a high GPA, so a GPA of 3. Some universities we will accept a little bit lower, where we know that their grading is very high. You will need to have an offer with the university to be able to apply for those. And the deadline for that is the end of June. So you do still have time to apply for the course, apply even for our English language test if you need to take that, and still apply for the scholarship before that deadline there. But on top of those 50%, we do have scholarships of up to £3,000 for both undergraduate and postgraduate study. And for that, quite often, I will give the students a little interview on Skype or something like that, or a WhatsApp call, to talk about what as a student makes you special. It doesn't necessarily have to be that your GPA is best in the world, because that doesn't necessarily equate to a great student. I was an okay student at school, you know, I would say I was a medium student, but that didn't mean at university, that didn't translate into being a great student in lots of different ways. You know, I joined clubs and societies, I did volunteering work, all of those things can equate to being a good student. So for that, rather than say we give automatic scholarships for this, I actually like to chat to our applicants and see what we can do based on the different skill sets that they have. And then just a very quick run through of the timing. You know, this here, what I will do is I won't go through this in detail, because you will be able to get this information afterwards. So it will give you an overview of kind of between now and the autumn intake in January, the kind of things that students have to do to be able to join. So things like paying the £3,000 deposit, it's got the deadline on there for our scholarships. And, you know, you can just see there all of the steps very clearly laid out of what you would do to apply to the university and to be able to join. And then I'm going to finish on this slide. So, you know, I know that there are still some elements of lockdown in place on Turkey. I know it's some of it is being eased off, but we're all stuck at home. Or on the whole, we're spending a lot more time at home than we ever have done before. So I've just put in here a few resources that you can use whilst at home if you get bored of Netflix. So we have here, Bristol has recently actually been voted as one of the top 12 virtual tourism campaigns around the world. So actually you can go to the Visit Bristol website, you can have virtual tours of our attractions, our events. Banksy, who's a famous graffiti artist, you could actually do a virtual tour of all of these pieces of artwork around Bristol. And we have the UWE have developed their own wellbeing and success models, which I think at the time like this is really important. So this is things like visualizing your future, connecting with others, and when is a better time than, you know, getting some support on how we do visualize our future or connect with others when it is quite a weird time. We're going to be running a number of future webinars, so I really would recommend students to visit our website and see what they're going to be. We're also having an open event, some virtual open events running in June, so an undergraduate and a postgraduate one. So if you would go to our website, you will be able to register for those. And then I've just included here a couple of useful resources, because we do get a lot of questions about coronavirus that students will be able to refer to. So there's both the university's FAQ pages, but also the British Council and UK CISA have also developed some really good applicants kind of content around coronavirus. And really, that is the end of the presentation. So I'm very sorry there about the technical glitches that we had, but I'm pleased to know that we've got to the end there. And what I can do is I can go now and see if there are any questions that students have got for me, so that we can go through that information there. So let me see. So does anyone have any questions? We've got about 5 minutes left, where I'm happy to kind of answer anything that you would like to know at all. So now this is your time. If not, then we all get to finish a little bit early, which is great, because you know, it's very sunny here in the UK, which doesn't always happen. But yeah, is there anything that you would like to know from me? It's been fantastic speaking to you all. I know that this is quite a weird time, but hopefully you found the information in the presentation useful. If you've got no questions, it's fine for you to leave, because this is the main part of the webinar is over now. But please, if you have, please feel free just to type them in the box there, and I can help with anything that you've got from me. We've got the first question here, so thank you. So for, to register for the online English test, you just need to actually have an offer first. So because it can only be used for the university, students do have to be an offer holder of the university. So it's quite easy to apply for the university. So if you were interested in applying, you would go to our website, find the course that you want to study and submit an application. We tend to find that from students applying to getting their offer, it can take about a week, but that would include as you applying, uploading any transcripts, as processing the offer. And then normally we would find that within 48 hours of your offer being made, we will then send you a communication about the online English test. They're running every Wednesday. So every Wednesday between now and start of term. So there's lots of time for students to be able to join, and that information will be sent to our applicants. So thank you for that question. And we've also been asked, do you have health services for COVID? So actually, we do have a GP on our campus. So students can actually, who are living on campus, register for our on-campus GP service, which is great. We are also do a lot of support with our students when they arrive on campus to talk about the different health services that they can register for. Something, and actually I can announce live to you now, this has just been signed off by the university, that any student who pays their deposit by the end of July, we will actually give you a scholarship to cover the cost of your NHS surcharge. So that is £300 currently, and that can be on top of other scholarships that you've got. We feel very confident that by the time students arrive at the university, that they will feel safe and secure, and that we will have done everything in our power to try and make sure that the campus is safe, that we're adhering to any social distancing guidelines that may still be in place. But we know that students may still be a little bit worried. And we've got the great NHS healthcare service in the UK. So we want to commit to students to say we want you to be confident in UWE and confident that we're there to support your health. So because of that, we will be giving every applicant who pays their deposits the cost of their healthcare off their tuition fee, because we feel that confidence that UWE can, is really caring about the health of our students coming to the university. So thank you for that question. Do we have any other questions at all? We have a couple of minutes left. If not, I want to say thank you ever so much for taking out the time to listen to the presentation. It's been fantastic speaking to you. Again, once again, sorry about the technical issues there. These things do happen. It just shows how we're live, and we're all in a very weird situation of working from home, and perhaps not being able to do that face to face that we would normally do. But thank you ever so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Sophie. It was a great presentation. Thanks for participating. Can you leave your email address on the chat box so people can contact you?
Of course. Yeah, no problem. I will leave that now. That is my email address. So if any students have any questions at all, especially about, I know, scholarships is normally quite a popular one. I know the English language test as well will be quite a popular one. So if you want a little bit more information or a follow-up call at all, please do get in touch with me. Let me know that you joined the presentation today, and I'd be more than happy to give you more information.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a lovely evening.
Care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye. Bye.